Jujutsu Kaisen's Shibuya anime adaptation absolutely pissed all over the manga counterpart. Good. Now I've got your attention. I think it's time we really talked about this, because I'll be honest, I've been a big advocate for manga over animation. But holy fuck, was I wrong. You see, when I first read through Shibuya, it hit hard. And in fact, it hit so hard that I have it in one of my top 3 shonen arcs of all time so far, which is a big fucking accolade considering the big 3 literally exist, and Hunter x Hunter sits atop arguably one of the greatest shonen arcs to ever put pen to paper. But what made it stand out? Well, first of all, the Shibuya incident was something that was set up super early. In fact, it wasn't even just set up, the main villain outright told you what was going to happen. October 31st, we'll seal Satoru Gojo. This series lets you know ahead of time what's going to happen. It's not something that happens a lot in manga. The author normally likes to have a little twist or two within there. So when I read this panel, I was like, okay, maybe there's something here that I've missed. Maybe this is like, and will be like all the other mangas that I've read where the villain is overconfident. They do the whole villain monologue thing and the heroes just win the day. No. Not Jujutsu Kaisen. That's not the story Jujutsu Kaisen is telling here, obviously. So reading through the Shibuya instance, it had me flipping back and forth through the chapters, through the pages, thinking, fuck, did I just miss something? Did I really just skip a page? Is the page just missing here? Dude, these dudes are losing. What the fuck is going on? And then finally, we get to Gojo's sealing and other various deaths throughout the series. But there's a glimmer of hope that the gang might get him back. They might avenge the deaths, and while I'm reading through all of this, I can't take my eyes away from the pages. All I can think of is, how do they get Gojo back? How do they beat these motherfuckers? And in these situations, if you're anything like me, your mind fills in the blanks for the colors, the sounds, and maybe the type of soundtrack that's going on in the background. You kind of imagine these kind of things, and for me, that's kind of what makes part of reading manga so goddamn enjoyable, aside from the animation aspect. You're expecting and you're experiencing the artwork of the artist, and you're experiencing their story the way they intended it, the way they drew it, the way they paneled it. And it's up to you to, as the reader, fill in and add the rest, which I enjoy. I like using my brain to add more to the story. But along came the anime.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
The long-awaited and highly anticipated Shibuya arc anime had finally arrived, and we could all just barely believe that we were here, that we were at this point, finally. For what many is considered the peak of Jujutsu Kaisen, it has officially arrived to our screens to bless us. Or so we thought. You see, everything I just described to you that I felt when I was reading the manga, I felt that and more watching the anime. The colors, the voice acting, the music, the fluidity of the combat, the details of the destruction. This chaotic masterpiece came together to completely enthrall thousands of us every single Thursday, and it didn't just stop there. You see, Jujutsu Kaisen, it blew up. This season really put Jujutsu Kaisen on the map, and it was already popular as a manga series as it was, and the anime catapulted that thing into the stratosphere, and it was sublime. And when it came to the animators honoring the workings of Gege and his artwork and the story that he was telling and the source material that they provided, they did that and more. You see, these still images that once felt like just still images now almost pale in comparison to what these animators delivered to us. A sublime masterpiece and a true, an utter love letter to Gege Akutami and his work and craft. And a personal favorite of mine was Yuji's fight with Choso and the sealing of Gojo, and even Gojo's fight within the subway. For example, Yuji versus Choso is one of my favorite fights because of the implications within the fight. You have two brothers who are unknowingly fighting each other in what would be a fight to the death. And in the manga, you already know it's serious, but the anime? No. The anime adds to this kaleidoscopic range of colors and beautiful fluidity to the movements of both Yuji and Shoso, and not to mention the soundtrack, the sound design. It was special. It was a moment in time that was so special. In fact, the soundtrack itself is somewhat sinister in the way that it lets you believe Yuji will kind of win. It sets up these moments by paying homage to the first season. Only for it to be brutally brought back down to reality, where Choso stands ready to deal the final blow and sit Yuji down back in his place. And it's moments like these that really make you enjoy the manga and the source material even more. The animators looked at the masterpiece that Gege had created and said, how the fuck can we do better? And then there's Gojo, this unhinged, blue-eyed, white-haired motherfucker on full display. His power and his strength shown to us within his subway fight, with him hunting Jogo down through the subway of people, Gojo walking towards Haname and obliterating them against the walls of Shibuya, all the while laughing menacingly and making you even doubt whether we should actually be cheering for this dude or not. Are we looking around here thinking, are we the bad guys? And then, boom. The impossibly untouchable monster that Gojo is shown to be is brought to a grinding halt, a grinding stop, with just the soft voice of Geto saying these simple words.
Yeah, Satoru. Huh? Hisashii.
And those words right there freeze Gojo in his tracks with the softest melody playing in the background, with these sinister undertones. You know something is about to go horrendously wrong. And even as a manga reader, I had this deep pit in my stomach as if it was a first time thing, as if I was experiencing this all for the first time. And I already knew what was going to happen, but it just brought home how horribly wrong things were about to go. And lo and behold, it does. And that's why the anime absolutely dogged on the manga for me. You see, the manga did a wonderful job at letting you know how chaotic the situation was, but it never really gave you a sense of hopelessness in the same way that the anime did. And the anime nailed that. And in this situation, the heroes lose. They don't get their happy ending. After all of their fighting, their loss, their hardship, their anger, their grief, their effort to rescue Gojo and avenge their fallen comrades in what is essentially a war on the fields of Shibuya against Cases here, in the end, it basically didn't even matter, because the villains, as they had already said, they did exactly what they were going to do. They sealed Gojo Satoru on October 31st in Shibuya. Anyway, I hope you like this video. It's very rare that I agree that anime does a better job than the manga for me personally. As I've always said, manga is king for me. I feel like you are getting the true representation of what the author wants you to see at that point. But recently, I've changed that opinion. It feels like nowadays it is actually a second run for the author to go back and be like, actually, can we add this? Can we do this? And, you know, at sometimes and in instances like this, I have to admit, I was just fucking wrong. I've just been chatting absolute wham about that theory and that subject for a long time now. But anyway, if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys all in the next one. Much love. Big fucking kisses. Peace.